Hi, and welcome to Down from the Attic. Let's see what I can find this week. Here's an unusual and mostly forgotten about board game from 1994. Flix by Milton Bradley. You'd be forgiven if you can't remember this game or have no knowledge of it. A 1 year release span for a game isn't massive, but what we have here is a fun, entertaining, lateral thinking and strategy game for 2 players. The box isn't much to look at, standard MB fare really. I've always found the font so indicative of the 90s though, that neon pink. This is a board game by principles, but just take a look at the board. Yeah, this doesn't have your regular fold out game board, this has got something completely different. The game board comprises of 3 blue segments that fit together to create a large hexagonal play space. Getting the board together is a feat in itself. The sides of each segment have a sliding latch. Getting 2 of these in place is easy enough, but getting the 3rd in place invariably displaces the first 2. I remember this being a particular pain in the backside as a kid, but 23 years later, it's no easier as an adult. You need an engineering degree to get this thing together. The pieces are well made and incredibly robust, they feel solid and sturdy. So, with all 3 clips together, you give the board this twist push movement on all 3 segments and it clicks into place. Voila! The underside of the game board has small ball bearings fitted to each segment, which help with rotating the board round, and this will become more apparent as we play. In addition to the main board are these plastic triangle pieces that fit around the edge. They indicate the starting positions for the balls. The rules indicate that 3 triangles of one colour to be used on one side, but you can mix this up if you wish to implement house rules. It changes how you view the board and adds a different element of play. Rather than seeing each side as a base, the board appears to be a more level playing field. So, starting the game. Each player has 9 balls around the perimeter of the board. You take it in turns to flick balls around the game board using these flick paddles. Each segment of the board is a sunken 3-sided pyramid, which gives you 3 different sides to place your flick paddle before flicking. There's a lot of flicking flicks to that sentence. The aim of the game is to create a large triangle using 4 of the balls occupying the smaller triangles. You can't use non-flick balls to create this, so flicking balls nearer the starting positions of other sides won't count. The starting positions don't count as part of the big triangle. The game mechanics are simple enough for anyone to pick up very quickly, and there's a surprising amount of strategy and forward thinking with this game. Many times, you'll spin the board round to see that your opponent is 1 flick away from winning, and that you can only hope that you can land your ball in the triangle to stop that from happening. There's a certain cleverness to this. It's satisfying to set up a scenario where there's no win for your opponent. They can block 1 big triangle, but are unable to stop you winning with another. Sometimes you're a little enthusiastic with your flick, and your ball will go off board, or it'll land into a triangle that's already occupied. Or what happens here is you return the ball to where it was, and the player's turn ends. It can take a few attempts to get a feel of how strong a flick you need to execute. Sometimes you will only want the ball to land in the next triangle ahead. You might want it to get to the other side of the board. Of course, with certain flicks, balls will bounce off the divide between triangles, or even bounce right out the triangle you aim for. There's been times where a fluky shot like this has really changed the outcome of a game. Flix is a very simple game, and sometimes some of the best games are the simplest. I kind of see this as like a horizontal connect forward, only with dexterity and a little bit of luck thrown in for good measure. Getting accustomed to how hard a flick should be takes a bit of practice, but new players are quick to pick up the mechanics and rules. Games usually last around about 5 minutes, and I've never played just a single game of this. Most players want to play a number of rounds because this is a sort of game that you instantly feel you can do better next time around. Flix is no longer being produced by Milton Bradley Games, but copies aren't so difficult to come by. You can find them on eBay and other second-hand sites. This game is a fun addition to any collection, and can be enjoyed by young children and adults alike. It's fun to pick up, it's easy to play, it's just a little fiddly to put together. Thanks for watching, I'll talk to you again soon.